It might not be the clearest day you've ever seen in Cape Town, but I think you can clearly make out the exquisitely beautiful Table Mountain behind me that presides over the mother city. And on Saturday at Kenilworth Racecourse, the longest running sports sponsorship in the history of sport took place, and I refer, of course, to the J&B Met. And the front page of South Africa's only privately owned sporting newspaper, the Sporting Post, said girl meets boys. And of course, they were referring to the daughter of Ideal World, and her name is Smart Call, trained by Alexander Garrett Laird. And he, of course, trains this filly for Jessica Slack, who is the nominee for Maritzfontein Stud. And she recorded what may well be the highest merit rating of any filly that has ever run in South Africa, defeating a horse by Gray's Inn, a horse called Legal Eagle. A phenomenal performance, beautifully handled by JP van der Merwe for the second week in a row. Waishang Mawing sadly not being able to make his engagement and having missed out on the $1 million purse aboard the Glen Puller inmate. And then, of course, JP van der Merwe stepping up to the plate and riding an absolutely faultless race. Now, the interesting thing about Smart Call is that Robin Bruss was tasked with the responsibility of finding a specific mare for Horse Chestnut when he was standing at Claiborne Farm. And he went to Australia and he bought a mare called Great Verdict, who was in foal to Zabeel. This particular mare was by Christmas Tree. And unbeknown to everybody, she went across to America, was covered by Horse Chestnut, but before that, she gave birth to Gray's Inn. She then had another foal called Good Judgment, who came out to South Africa. She's the mother of Smart Call, hence the fact that the daughter of Horse Chestnut was put in foal to Ideal World, the son of King Mamba, who only died last week out of that incredible race filly by Dane Hill called Banks Hill. And passionate racehorse owner, breeder, entrepreneur Robin Bruss has more for us on this incredible story.
Here comes Horse Chestnut now starting his run at the 400, and Horse Chestnut's gliding into the lead. Young Raker's trying his hardest to go with him. With 150 to go, ladies and gentlemen, you might never see this horse in this country again. He is a true champion. In fact, he is a true legend. As we salute Horse Chestnut, he annihilated them and won by 10.
So for a long time, I really wanted to find a way to get that horse back here. He meant something to me, as he did. I think I would speak for just about everybody else in racing. And it always struck me that if the horse ever came back here, there wouldn't be an owner or a trainer who wouldn't want to have one of his progeny, or a breeder who wouldn't want to mate to him. There were 3 attempts to try and buy the horse from my side, all of which had failed. And at that time, Kevin Somerville was working for me. He'd just come off the Darley Flying Start course. And he'd been to Claiborne. He knew Del Hancock, people that I didn't know. And he knew Bernie Sams very well, who's the stallion manager. So Kevin phoned up Bernie, put me on the line, and we started talking turkey, and eventually came to the idea that we could actually buy the horse. And then I needed financial support to help me to do it. Actually went through Pippa Mickleborough to Gaynor initially, and then Gaynor said, of course, so the great Horse Chestnut, I would love to have him on my farm. I think the most beautiful farm in the country, if not the world. You'd go a long way to find a farm that's as beautifully appointed and set up. And what I love about the fact that Horse Chestnut spent the last few years of his life standing there is that for a horse who was as deserving a champion as he was, he found the home that was deserving of him. I think it was a great match. He was magnificently looked after. People loved him, and he loved parading for them. Anybody who's been remotely associated with horse racing in South Africa in the last 20 or 30 years, the only horse name that they truly remember is Horse Chestnut. If a horse is a great racehorse, he has a better chance of reproducing his own genes. But there's many great racehorses that never made it. And perhaps if you have a great racehorse who's by a great racehorse out of another one, you are loading the basis of probability and the hope to go forward. But if you think about it, Andrew, only about, amongst the top stallions, if you have 10% stakes winners, you're 3 times better than the average of the breed. Only 3% of all races are stakes races. So you have a 97% chance of failing. That's how tough it is. But for the small guy, the opportunity always exists. And the sort of, I call it the wave motion of inheritance. I say it's like a golden thread that runs like this. If it was so easy that you just bought a Group 1 winner to produce a Group 1 winner, only the richest people would own all the best horses. That doesn't happen. So I'm hopeful that Horse Chestnut will do well as a broodmare sire. In time to come, I think what you'll find is that the daughters of Horse Chestnut will make their mark. And hopefully we'll see his name in pedigrees for many years to come. Mrs. O wanted to send a decent mare to Horse Chestnut in America. And she decided that she wanted to send one from here, but because the quarantine is so difficult, couldn't get one out in time. So she asked me to find a mare for her. Actually, it was through Gavin Schaefer. I went to the Australian mare sales and I bought a mare specially selected for Horse Chestnut for what I thought would suit him ideally. And the mare was called Great Verdict. And she was a daughter of the Broodmare of the Year called Summoned. She cost $340,000, which is a pretty hefty price for a broodmare in South African terms. Within 2 weeks of buying her, she was in America. That's how easy the shipments are from Australia. She was in foal, Southern Time, of course, to Zabeel. And so that Zabeel foal got born in Kentucky, and she decided to call him after a hotel that she knew called Gray's Inn. So Gray's Inn was born in Kentucky. The mare then got mated to Horse Chestnut. So the good part about it is that Gray's Inn came back to South Africa and became the champion racehorse and won the Vodacom Durban in July and was a hugely successful racehorse. The bad part of the story was that the mission was to mate the mare to Horse Chestnut. And that foal was so useless it ended up leading the parade at Turfin. He was so ugly and so awful. I cringe when I look at him because he was the desired outcome of the mission that I had set. And the byproduct actually turned out to be Gray's Inn. So, I almost hesitate to put Gray's Inn into my advertising because it was an accident.
But now there's another story because Alec Laird's filly that ran third in the Fillies Guineas
Correct.
is a daughter of Great Verdict.
This is the full sister to the one that was no good. So perhaps in the next generation, here we go again with a wave motion, perhaps in the next generation it will come out and she will succeed at Grade 1 level. Anyway, we have our fingers crossed.
It's Smart Call with a head in front. It's the filly that strikes the front, and she's pulling clear in the closing stages. Smart Call wins the J&B Met from Legal Eagle. Captain America, Light the Lights, then came Paterfamilias and Legislate.
And so the current status quo regarding Smart Call's participation in the forthcoming Breeders' Cup is that she will enter quarantine in early March with Noah from Goa, owned by her mom, Mary Slack. Whereafter she will head for Mauritius and then on to Newmarket in the United Kingdom, and finally to the United States of America. It will be an arduous and prohibitive journey that ultimately puts you on the back foot even before you start. But having said this, never forget that Alexander Garrett Laird was the pioneer of innovative travel back in 1997 with a horse called London News, who went on to conquer all before him. Let's hope that Smart Call can do just the same for Ideal World, Maritzfontein Stud, Jessica Slack, and all the adoring horse racing fans in South Africa.